I wanted to show my range. So I wrote a story about a middle-aged guy he's been through a divorce, really a heartbreaking divorce, and his career is falling apart. He's at a loose end, and a distant relative dies and leaves him a pet shelter for abused animals. And he doesn't want it, but he takes the pet shelter, and slowly working with the abused animals, he learns to love again.
Wouldn't that be awful? Nah, it's about the devil.
It's cold forms, and I'm not going to say too much about it just yet. Maybe we'll come back. We'll circle back to horns before we're done, because I have a chunk I could read from it later. I will say I did. I was at Comic-Con last year, and I did one of these things, and I was a fairly desperate guy, because I had spent a year and a half working on a book called The Surrealist Glass, which is mentioned in the back of Welcome to Lovecraft. And it had great characters and a great concept, but it was like bread that wouldn't rise. And I liked so much of it, but I wasn't happy with it, and on a deep level. And I felt like, with Heart-Shaped Box and 20th Century Ghost and Lock and Key, I had been consistent in putting out stuff that I felt really, really good about it. I'm not saying it was, saying it was anything special, but I felt like I had done my best, and that when people found the way to it, they'd have some fun with it, and I wasn't sure about this. And I had this other thing I had been playing on the side that I didn't feel like I could do because it was too similar to Surrealist Glass. It had a very similar concept, but it was so much darker and sort of more upsetting. And after Comic-Con last year, actually, I was sort of looking at the two, and I thought, no, I guess I can't do this other book. I can't do the Surrealist Glass. I started looking at the other thing, and I thought, maybe this is it. And I asked my publisher if I could have a few more months to play with the other thing. They said, okay. And this book came together, and it was a blast to write, and it sort of is Surrealist Glass through a glass darkroom. It's almost like sometimes in pregnancy there'll be two embryos and the twins, and one will die and sort of get eaten by the other one. This is like the embryo that ate the other one.